Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at the new Lanturn card. Now, I have a lot of love for Lanturn. I mean, to be honest, at this stage, I've got fond memories of pretty much every Pokemon, almost. But I played Lanturn at my very, very first ever National Championships. I played Lanturn Prime from the newly released Unleashed set with Feraligatr Prime. I went 4-3. It was positive. I felt good about myself. I kept getting beaten by Jumpluff, but that's not the point of today's video, ladies and gentlemen. Today's video is all about the new Jumpluff, which has been revealed on the official Pokemon website over in Japan, and translated by the lovely David Hochmann, who by now you should all know we like David. We're David fans. I'm a David fan. And if you're not a David fan, I'm going to have to question why you're not a David fan. This new Lanturn could be kind of fun. Now it's got 110 HP, which is actually very relevant when we look at his weakness to fighting and basically Buzzwole. Because post-rotation, Buzzwole's basically going to have Diancie Prism Star. And a Buzzwole of Diancie Prism Star using Jet Punch will do 50. Double with weakness will go up to 100 and not KO a Lanturn. And as I keep saying in these videos, yeah, they can use their once per deck beast energy, but if they do for a Lanturn, that's just a bit silly, to be perfectly honest with you. So you're probably not getting one hit KO'd by Buzzwole. That is the most important thing. You are getting one hit KO'd by Zoroark, which kind of sucks, but there's nothing you can do about it, so stop crying. It's got a retreat cost of 2, which is pretty annoying, and it's a lightning Pokemon. And lightning's kind of good right now. You've got Electro Power, or by the time this comes out in the same set you will have, which says that all of your lightning Pokemon do an extra 30 damage to your opponent's active. And we're going to get Thunder Mountain, that Prism Star Stadium, which reduces the cost of all lightning Pokemon in play by 1 lightning energy for each of their attacks. That sounds pretty good to me. And I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, 6 months ago I might not have enjoyed this Lanturn. Right now, however, I am a big fan of this Lanturn. I could see this Lanturn seeing play. You see, for 1 colourless energy, according to David, you can shuffle 4 item cards from your discard pile into your deck. And the reason why this is so good is twofold. Firstly, it's for 1 colourless energy, which means that you can play this in basically any deck whatsoever. And secondly, how else are you recovering item cards right now? You see, as it's been at the moment, we've had Puzzle of Time. And if you play 2 Puzzle of Time at the same time, you can get any 2 cards from your discard pile back into your hand. Now, this wasn't just for item cards. Puzzle of Time can be used for anything. It could be used for double colourless energy. It could be used to get some of your Guzma back, etc., etc. But it could also be used for items. And we are lacking recovery post-rotation. We are really stuck for recovery. Because Puzzle of Time's being rotated out, and even in Expanded it's being banned. I did a video about it. I'll try and remember to link it in the description. So that's not ideal. And we're still going to have some recovery cards, but it's all a little bit awkward. You see, we've got Rescue Stretcher, but that's only for Pokemon, not items. And we're going to have Energy Recycle System, but that's only for energy, not for Pokemon or anything else. We're losing Special Charge, so we've got no way to get Special Energy back. And we're losing Puzzle of Time, so we've got no way to get item cards back. Now, don't get me wrong, this Lanturn isn't going to get you double colourless energy back. But it can actually work with others because you can use it to recover a Pal Pad. So you can essentially use your Guzma, or discard them if you need to, use Pal Pad to get them back, then use Lanturn to recover Pal Pad to recover them again. Or if you have to discard your Pal Pad in the early game, because I think it's worth mentioning at this stage that Zebstrika is going to be coming in this same set as well. And Zebstrika is going to be great. The ability says that once during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 4 cards. In a format where we're not going to have Octillery, and we're not going to have Professor Sycamore, which are respectively the best Pokemon search we've got this format, and the best way to discard cards from our hand this format, Zebstrika's looking like something that could be really, 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 really useful. Problem is, if you're using a Dev Striker, you're going to discard stuff in the early game, and that's going to include stuff like Pal Pad, and we've all been there, right? You have to dump your Pal Pad early game, or you have to dump your Rescue Stretcher early game, and you're thinking, well, hang on a second, I'm only playing these cards to recover other cards, so now I can't recover other cards, and I can't recover these, and this is all just a little bit distressing. Well, distress no more, ladies and gentlemen. Because all of a sudden, Lanturn's coming along, and it can recover your Pal Pad, your Rescue Stretcher, etc. So one use here is just going to be extra recovery, which is going to be difficult. So now you can play one Rescue Stretcher, one Energy Recycle system, knowing you can reuse them. But Lanturn does so much more than that. And Crushing Hammer is one of the cards that really springs to mind here. Because Crushing Hammer is great for disruption. You flip a coin, if heads, you get to remove one of your opponent's energy cards from the field. The issue that we've had is that with Puzzle of Time going away, we've got our 4 Crushing Hammer, but that's it. And we're only going to hit heads on 2 of them, so actually you've basically got 2 Crushing Hammer that are actually going to work on average, and this is starting to get a little bit sad. And decks like Sylveon would have used Puzzle of Time. Because you see, Sylveon here has got Magical Ribbon, search your deck for any free cards, put them in your hand. So in the early game, the first couple turns, you search for Crushing Hammer. When your Crushing Hammer are running out, you use Magical Ribbon to search Puzzle of Time, and you're ready to go. And this is not as easy. Lanturn is not as easy to use as Puzzle of Time. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it is. But I am going to sit here and tell you that Puzzle of Time has gone, so it's not really worth making a comparison. If you want to recover those Crushing Hammer, Lanturn is a great way to do so. Now, it's not the only way. We've got Bayonet GX, which is one of those Pokemon I pronounced wrong for a very long time, till I learned the difference recently. But firstly, it gives up 2 prizes. Secondly, it's weak to Zoroark in a format where Zoroark and Guzma are everywhere. And thirdly, it's for a Psychic Energy, meaning you can only really play it in a Psychic deck. And Gardevoir can shuffle any 10 cards from your discard pile into your deck, which sounds amazing and is, but it's a stage 2. And it's for a Fairy Energy. And it gives up 2 prizes when KO'd. So sure, if you're in a position to play Bayonet and not worry about the downsides, fine. Otherwise, consider Lanturn. In some games, it will be worth giving up a prize for Lanturn, because it's got a retreat cost of 2, which is awkward, and it's not got the most HP ever. And if Lanturn doesn't get KO'd, you are absolutely laughing here. Because if Lanturn doesn't get KO'd, it's just kind of like, hang on a second. So you're telling me that I just get to recover 4 item cards and there's no downside here? Essentially, yes. But if Lanturn does get KO'd, you're giving up a prize card. But if you use all 4 Crushing Hammer, and then use Lanturn to recover all 4 Crushing Hammer to reuse them, it's totally worth it. Or maybe you grab yourself an Enhanced Hammer. If you're against a deck playing, say, 4 double colorless energy, 4 counter energy, you don't want 4 Enhanced Hammer, you want 8. And with Special Charge going away, Enhanced Hammer gets so much better. And then with Lanturn, you've got all 8. And that's what it does. I'm not going to sit here and list out every item card you can possibly play, but it's not really going to be for stuff like Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball sets up in the early game, and then after that, you're like, meh. But recovering recovery cards, or recovering disruption cards, that is going to be immensely useful. And I expect some cards that are playing 4 Crushing Hammer to play this, so they can use more Crushing Hammer. Now, as for the second attack here, Lightning Colorless 50 damage plus Confusion. I'm going to be honest with you, it's not great. It's one of those, even if you attach a Choice Band, you're not even getting a one-hit KO on a Ho-Oh. And if you look at non-GXs, you're not getting a one-hit KO on an Empoleon. You're not hitting the numbers here. And Confusion's fine, but everyone's playing Guzma at the moment, or you can just retreat out of it. It's fine. And yes, you can use Counter Energy if you're behind on prizes to pay it with 1 energy. And yes, you can use Counter Gain if you're behind on prizes to bring it down by 1 colorless energy, the cost. And yes, you can play Thunder Mountain Prism Star to bring the cost down by a lightning energy. And yes, you can play Thunder Mountain and Counter Energy together, and it's essentially a free attack. That doesn't mean I like it. I'm really not a fan of this. I don't think it's a particularly good attack. I think there are much better places to put your energy. It's not for that. But Lanturn is a stage 1 for a colourless energy that can recover item cards. And we don't have good ways to recover item cards. And it's for a stage 1. For one colourless energy. That's what Lanturn is. If you want to recover item cards and you don't want to play something like Bayonet, Lanturn's amazing. If you don't, then don't play Lanturn, because it's not really got much to offer you. But if you do, it's got a lot. So let's give it a nice run-of-the-mill, ordinary, everyday, garden variety, vanilla, free Wassies. It does what it does. It's really useful in some decks, and you need a copy or two in your binder for if you ever do want to pop it into a deck, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the very definition of a free Wassie card. But if you disagree with me, or you agree and you just want to say how good Lanturn is, or whatever you want to say about Lanturn, there is a comment section, so might I heartily suggest that you go nuts, while also please remembering you the cardinal rule: be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.